Today we're in the dahlia patch. Dahlias are the quintessential fall flower, and honestly I have a deep appreciation for dahlias because long after the summer garden starts to slow down and the heat-loving annuals start to fade, the dahlias, they rev up just in time to sort of finish out the season for us. Right now it's early October here in West Michigan, and while we haven't had a kill frost just yet, we have had some pretty cool weather this week, and so the dahlias have slowed down just a little bit with their blooms. So before the season is fully over, I do want to share a few of my favorite varieties with you in case you're looking to add some to your own collection. So if you're ready, let's go. Dahlias, they can be a little intimidating at first. I mean, they require a little bit more work than your typical annuals, and they can also be more of an upfront investment. Unlike a packet of seeds that can cost a couple of dollars and will grow you maybe 100 plants, a single tuber can cost anywhere from $2 to $20, and that tuber will produce just one plant its first season. The magic of a dahlia, though, is found in their ability to multiply season after season. You see, a single tuber that is planted in the spring, it can result in a dahlia clump of 3 to 10 tubers by the season's end. Dahlias are one of those things that as long as you care for your dahlia tubers, you'll be sure to always have a consistent supply of them. In my first garden, I planted just 4 dahlia tubers. Over the years, as I've cared for those tubers and as I've multiplied them by taking dahlia cuttings, a process that I explain in this video right here, we've been able to grow our dahlia patch significantly in a very short amount of time. This year we planted close to 500 dahlia tubers within this small patch that I'm standing in right now. Now, over the years, our strategy for deciding which dahlias to grow has definitely changed as well. I mean, with thousands of different dahlia varieties to choose from, I used to want to grow as many different varieties as possible, even if that meant only growing 1 or 2 plants of each variety. What I've realized though is that for us, I much prefer to grow fewer varieties but more per variety. You know, instead of growing just 1 or 2 plants of each variety, I like to grow maybe 20 or 25 plants of each variety. And there's a few reasons for why we do this. For one, it makes it easier to sell straight bunches of dahlias in the fall, which our customers love. Well, mixed bouquets have become the backbone of our small flower farm. Come fall, our customers, they love dahlias so much that they don't even mind a bouquet of dahlias all by themselves. And so having more stems of each variety, it makes it easier for us to sell those bunches to our customers. Also, from a storage standpoint, you know, having fewer varieties makes the process again more simple for us. Here in West Michigan, we're in zone 5B. And our winters are cold enough that dahlia tubers, they cannot survive being in the ground all year long. And so we have to dig and then store our dahlia tubers during the colder months until spring when we plant our tubers back out into the garden. Having fewer varieties to keep track of means that there's less chances for mix-ups. Labeling, I mean, it takes less time, and all in all there's just less to keep track of, which makes things just a little bit easier on us. So what varieties do we grow in this little dahlia patch? Well, let me show you a few of my favorites. I'll be honest, I don't have much patience for white dahlias. The bugs, they seem attracted to them, they show damage really easy, and they just take a bit of patience to grow. Well, white dahlias are always a favorite for floral designers, especially during wedding season. Selling wholesale to local florists isn't really our bread and butter, and so I grow very few white dahlia varieties. The one variety that I do grow is Blizzard. This variety is prolific. It throws up an amazing number of stems. As you can see, the plants are very large and the stems are long, and the blooms themselves are a good size, which works well within bouquets as well as in straight bunches. Now, one white variety that we did add to our patch this year was called Small World. Now this tuber was a gift from a fellow flower farmer, and so I only have one plant of it growing in the garden this season. But what I love about this variety is its small size. The variety is considered a pom-pom variety, meaning it's very petite. The blooms themselves are only about 1 inch or 2 in diameter. And while it may not be the most useful for straight bunches of dahlias, what I love about this small dahlia is how easily it can be worked into bouquets. Our customers, they couldn't believe that a flower this small could actually be a dahlia. It was such an unexpected and fun surprise for everyone. And I'm truly looking forward, to increasing our stock of this variety so we can grow even more of it next season. Now, as a cut flower grower, I found that ball dahlias are some of the most useful dahlias varieties that we can grow. These dahlias, they just tend to be a little bit longer lasting in the vase. They tend to be a little bit more weather resistant, and their medium round shape means that they work both well in mixed bouquets as well as on their own in straight bunches. Ball dahlias, they're truly versatile and they're a great garden workhorse. So one of our favorite ball varieties is none other than Jessie G. This dahlia variety is a beautiful deep burgundy color. The plants themselves, they are very productive, and the blooms grow on very tall and strong stems. Another fun and cheery ball variety worth mentioning is Marn. Now, Marn is slightly smaller than Jessie G, but these plants again are still very productive and they churn out flowers all season long. And I really just love this beautiful orange color. Another ball variety that is worth mentioning is Snow Host Sonia. It's a ball variety that I've grown to love even more this season. It has these sort of white petals that are kissed with lavender. And in comparison to the other varieties that I've just mentioned, it's just more of a softer, more romantic variety that makes a great addition to any garden. Now, if there's one variety that I grow for myself, it's American Dawn. I remember falling in love with this dahlia's unique form and beautiful pinkish petals with its deep purple centers. This variety has long, strong stems, and it features some darker foliage that makes it truly unique. Now, there's always a few varieties that surprise you. Varieties that you don't expect to love, but for one reason or another, you end up head over heels over them. At least that's been my experience with these next few varieties I'm going to share with you. And really, that's why it's so important to try growing different varieties in your own garden. You're never going to really get a feel for what you like until you see it growing in real life. And that's why I'm always going to encourage you to try new varieties. Just because you grow something one season, it doesn't mean that you have to be committed to it in the next season. So first up is Crazy Legs. Now, this was a variety that I received as a free gift with one of my orders. And honestly, had I not received it as a gift, I'm not sure that I would have picked it myself. This dahlia, it does have some unique coloring, yellow and red, and that's not really a color combination that I'm personally drawn to. But after one season of growing this variety, I really fell in love with the unique form that this dahlia has. It definitely makes a fun statement in arrangements, and its colors work surprisingly well in fall bouquets. Now, next up is Lark's Ebb. Lark's Ebb is one of those dahlias that I'm really glad that I've grown it for a couple of seasons. When I originally decided to grow Lark's Ebb, it was because I was drawn to the color. It has a really nice peachy hue to it with some pretty yellow undertones. Because I grow dahlias for cut flowers, I was a little discouraged at how compact of a plant this variety was. Last year in particular, I had a hard time getting stems that were of usable length. And I was so discouraged I did sell a large majority of my tubers of this variety as part of our spring dahlia sale. I was convinced that this variety was better suited for home gardeners who might prefer to grow dahlias in their landscape as opposed to growing them for cut flowers. But I gave this variety a second chance this season, and my opinion of it has definitely changed. This year I have cut hard and deep, trying to force longer stems, and I have gotten much better results. As you can see, the plants are still on the shorter side, but I'm able to harvest plenty of usable stems, and these peachy blooms are such a great addition to bouquets. Now, one last unexpected favorite this year has been Rip City. I have been growing Rip City for years, and on its own it's such a striking variety. Its blooms are big and bold, and it's such a deep, rich color. My only problem with this variety has been that at times I've struggled with working it into my bouquets. This year I've been much more intentional about using it within arrangements, and I now find that I love adding these upward facing blooms into everything that we create. Okay, I want to share just a few more varieties with you. I promise to make it quick, but Salmon Runner is a variety that I just started growing this season. It's a formal decorative variety that features blooms that are about 4 to 5 inches wide. And what's fun about this variety is that it has this almost smoky color to it. And I really do enjoy how this variety has a flatter back to it, which makes it a little easier to tuck into arrangements. Okay, last but not least, I have to share with you one of my absolute favorites this year, and that has been Sebastian. This is one of those flowers that you just have to see in person because pictures, they don't do it justice. But I swear the colors on this dahlia variety, they almost appear to glow. It's a fun mix of coral and salmon, and I'm not kidding when I say that this may be my favorite all-time dahlia variety, especially that I'm growing this season. I will say that plants are on the shorter side, but it's something that I'm definitely willing to overlook because of how striking the blooms really are. So there you have it, just a few of my favorite dahlia varieties. Now, this is definitely not an all-inclusive list. There are plenty of dahlia varieties that I did not mention within this video that are perfectly beautiful and worthy of growing. Now, in a later video, I will share with you how we actually dig and store our dahlia tubers over the winter. But for now, I just wanted to give you a look into why I can't imagine a cutting garden without at least a few dahlia tubers tucked somewhere inside. I definitely encourage you to try and grow some dahlias for yourself in your own gardens. But be warned, the dahlia craze, it's real, and once you fall in love with these blooms like I have, you may just find that your collection of them will grow beyond your wildest imagination. If you're looking for sources for dahlia tubers, I encourage you to check out this video right here, where I do share some of my favorite spots of where I buy my own dahlia tubers from. I'll link it in the description box below as well. Now, before I go, I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you could do me a favor, if you enjoyed the content in this video, we'd really appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Now, that's all from me. As always, I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.